I'm Karen, and I'm here with Kelly. We are back answering your questions regarding everything grief, and right now, holiday specific too. We are releasing videos every Wednesday, every Saturday. We definitely encourage you to subscribe so that you can stay up to date. And I think this is a question that probably applies to a lot of people. Again, we're talking about the holidays, but this is a year-round question, I think, like a lot of them. But the question is, what are some things I should consider before traveling while grieving the loss of a loved one?
Yes, absolutely. So, what's so funny is what I thought about when I read this question was about a client who traveled over the summer. So, nothing holiday even related,
Right, right.
but her response was, "Oh, my grief followed me." She thought she's going away on this nice, relaxing vacation. And she's like, "Oh, my grief was still there." And I was like, "Well, yeah." Like, we can't take vacations and breaks from our grief. So I think that's the first thing to kind of remember is that regardless of where you go, it's probably going to follow you. So to just be mindful of that and to just make sure that you're creating some self care for yourself and some boundaries, and making sure that you're taking the time that you need, and knowing that there still might be triggers, especially if you're going to a family and seeing maybe family together and really feeling the void of your loved one, especially if it was a spouse or someone, that's supposed to be there with you.
Yeah.
That could be a really difficult time of like seeing that empty spot where they would sit, or not having them for those moments that you want them there for.
Yeah.
So I think it's about, making sure you're asking yourself, is traveling going to be helpful for me, or is it going to be hurtful? And then making some plans, communicate with the people you're staying with. I may not be the most festive this year. This is what I'm having a hard time with. I just need you to be there. Maybe give them some ideas. Maybe even ask, can we incorporate this into our holiday meal? This was, my loved one's favorite recipe. Or, can we do a toast for them? Or, have their favorite dessert or something like that, just to kind of figure out how can you still have that connection with your loved one, even though you may be at somebody else's home.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's good. And making the space and time for yourself. And it's funny, I think we always say like these questions come up and it makes us think of like 100 other things. And I was just thinking not only just of the travel, but like the type of travel. Like, are you going to be in a hotel? Are you going to be staying with somebody? Are you flying? Are you driving? I mean, one thing to remember with travel too is the planning involved, the kind of chaos of traffic or going through an airport or something. And we know that grieving people are like already filled to the brim with everything that they can take. So anything else that could go wrong or that could be agitating, could be very difficult. So it's probably also going to require some patience too,
Mhm.
which I think is important. One thing that I talk to people about a lot, this is again, especially working with people who've lost a spouse or partner, somebody that they shared the home with, is that we always think about the travel and again, the packing, preparation, all of that. But we also have to think about coming home,
Mm.
what it is to be returning from a trip and sort of preparing for that as much as we're able to, but recognizing that that could be difficult even
Mm.
if the trip itself is not necessarily easy. Coming home to the house for the first time, on the first time you've done a trip like this, or not even the first, maybe even after several times, can be just very jarring, I think, for some people. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely something to consider.
Yeah. So, if we had to summarize here, what are some things I should consider before traveling while grieving the loss of a loved one?
Yeah, so I think it's about coming up with a good plan. What's going to be helpful for you, making sure that you're being patient with yourself, maybe communicating with the people that you're going to be traveling with. So you have a self care plan in place, a space to maybe take breaks when you need it. Also, like you mentioned, Karen, making sure that you have a good plan for when you come home and realizing that that may be just as difficult, and just being, giving yourself some self-compassion,
Yeah.
being kind to yourself. Traveling is challenging during the holiday season for the best of us, and then when you're grieving and have grief brain, maybe you give yourself a little bit of extra time at the airport, just
Hmm.
so that you get there, you can be settled, you can be where, especially if you're flying, or just, maybe take a little longer to drive or whatever it is. But just being kind to yourself, taking it easy, and just taking it minute by minute.
Yeah, that's good. Those are all good suggestions, Kelly. Well, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody. We love having you here. Hope Kelly always is good at reminding people to go back and watch the old videos. I think we're up to like 45, 46 now or something. So there's a lot of content there. Make sure you're seeing it all. And you can do that by subscribing. We are here every Wednesday and Saturday. So thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.